Hey, what's up guys, Steven here and welcome to another dismantling video, and today we're going to check out what we can find in a fake iPhone from China. So we're going to check out what components are inside, then if they're dangerous or not, especially the charger, and we're also going to check out what are the differences to a real one. And just a little disclaimer, I can absolutely not recommend this product, so if you don't have the money for a real iPhone, go with an Android phone or save your money, or probably buy an older iPhone. Even an iPhone 4 will perform way better than this crappy clone of an iPhone 6s. So keep your hands off, and now let's get directly started and let's check out everything and what we can find inside. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so let's get directly started with the charging accessories, because there are always stories like a house burned down because of the charger, and here we have fake iPhones and fake Apple charger. This one came with the iPhone 6s clone, which you can see right over here. By the way, there's a link down below in the description if you want to check it out and how expensive it is. So I think the whole iPhone with all the accessories is like $100, depends on what you want inside. And yeah, here you can see it. So that's a charger. It's very small, not really sure if it's the original iPhone 6s charger, so at least from the outside, because my friend owns one and the charger looks different, so it's way bigger. But here we have a small one, which I've also seen. And you can see here the USB port, so that's straight in and looks actually pretty okay. We have here the European power socket connector, so it depends from which country you order, you will always get the correct one. But well, I want to have a look at the internals actually, so how it looks like and the soldering joints and everything. But let's have a look at the specs of this charger. So obviously it's fake C certification, and we can also see here that the output, it's just 5 volts and 1 amp. I'm not really sure about the real iPhone charger, but I think it's more than 1 amp, but you can really check it out if you just go to Amazon, for instance. Okay, now to open it up, I guess we just have to remove that back plate here with a screwdriver, and I have here a Phillips head, and let's just go. Let's just get this crap out. And it's a little bit hard in front of the camera, but as you can see, so this here comes out, and actually here we have a splitted PCB board. Here we have some kind of connector between the boards. We have the USB port, several capacitors, voltage regulator, and yeah, and transformer right over here. So looks quite okay actually. Also here the soldering joints, and the USB port on this one here was also straight in. And regarding the heat, that's the only bad thing, it got quite hot. So I measured the heat and it was like up to 70-80 degrees, so it got quite hot on some spots. And yeah, it doesn't look burnt on any spot, so that is actually okay, but the soldering joints here, for instance, on the wires, so it doesn't look so good. I'm not really, actually I'm mechanical engineer and not yeah, electrical engineer, but just if I have a look at the PCB, then I would say it looks quite okay to me, but I can't really tell you about the components. Now I've used the charger always to charge it, fits in my power socket, but I would definitely recommend to change the charger, because I've actually seen a lot of those chargers burning down, getting way too hot like this one here, and yeah, it's really not worth it to risk a burnt, yeah, and in the worst case a burnt house just because of a damn 50-cent charger. So this is how the charger here looks from the inside, and you see just 2 PCB boards with a couple of components. It's actually very cheap, and you can get that from China for, I don't know, $1 probably. So those things are in production very, very cheap. Okay guys, and here's a fake Apple Lightning cable. As you can see, the connector looks exactly like the real one. So from the outside, it's the real deal, but from the inside, not. So it seems that the resistance of the cable, probably there are some resistors inside, I'm not really sure, I haven't taken apart a real Apple Lightning cable. If I connect this to a real iPhone, so for instance to the iPhone 5s of my father, it will refuse to charge because the iPhone says unsupported accessories or something like that. So it's not Apple certified. It will work with the clone also in both ways, like the real Apple Lightning connector, but if you try to charge a real iPhone, it will say unsupported cable or something like that. Really cheap knockoff cables, you can get them like in a 10-pack for $1 from China. Absolutely not worth to mention, and also the quality is not really like the real deal. Ladies and gentlemen, next stop, fake Apple earbuds. Now also from the outside they look like the real headset, so yeah, also comes here with for instance the R letter for right and left, And yeah, the form, the speaker grids, everything here looks like the real one. I'm not really sure if the real ones are also kind of bluish here, but I have to say they sound really crappy. Now it sounds like a $5 headset from Amazon or eBay, so not really good quality. We can have a look here at the remote. So also there's the microphone button, as you can see, to mute, and we have plus and minus, so to adjust the volume. Also for some reason not working with my real iPhone, and here you can see the 3.5mm connector, which is silver plated. Not really sure, but I don't think that the real ones are gold plated, but please don't count me on that because, you know, I'm not an iPhone user. Okay, that is how the headset here looks like. From the outside it looks like the real one, but the quality, as I've mentioned before, is really crappy. So guys, there we go. Here's the moment you were waiting for. Here comes the fake iPhone 6s. At the first look, everybody I show this fake iPhone to, they say it's a real iPhone 6s. But no, I will now show you some simple things where you can determine that this here is a fake iPhone. But really at the first look, if you just see pictures, it's really hard to see if it's a fake iPhone or not. So be careful on eBay. Sometimes I see fakes that are selling for the prices of real iPhones. So be really careful. Okay, so a couple of words about this clone here. So it runs an MTK chipset. The performance is like 20 times slower than a real iPhone. And not only the performance is a real killer of the deal, so actually the whole build quality. It still comes with an aluminum body, so, aluminum. The body quality is kinda okay, but it's still not the real quality. So I think the iPhone is a bit overpriced when it comes to the body quality, but it's really important what's inside of the body. And this is the battery. The battery runtime on this here is like half a day. You really have to recharge twice a day because the battery inside is so thin and so crappy. It's like 1200 milliamp hours maximum, and it absolutely sucks. Also, it runs Android, so this is an iOS theme, so just a different launcher for Android, which makes it look like iOS, but it's still Android and it's not really good optimized also for the chipset. So the battery lifetime is, if you're a really low user, maximum a day. That's not everything which is crappy. If you have a quick look here at the cameras, if you have it in your hands on the fake iPhone, then it really distorts the picture. The camera is ultra slow in bad lighting. We have the studio lights and you can already see the lag, and we can switch it to the front-facing camera. This is probably the crappiest experience ever. Just check this out, how it distorts the picture, how zoomed that is. It looks like a potato camera from 1998 or whatever. It's absolutely shitty. So the next thing is the home button. Now it's a mechanical home button. There is absolutely no touch ID or whatever. And if you press it, you can already feel, yeah, that can't be a real iPhone because it feels really crappy. So this is only if you have the phone in your hands. And another thing is actually that mute button on the left side. It's really hard to activate and it kind of sucks. So what do you have to do to identify it when you see pictures is just have a look at the LED flash. That's probably the biggest difference. If you have a look at the LED flash, it's dual tone, but the colors are way off from the original one. So there you can see this iPhone is fake. Probably also some other things, but you know, I'm not a real iPhone user, so that's actually what I always look for the LED flash. And also sometimes there's a gap here between the plastic and the aluminum body. Okay, so this is how it looks here from the outside. And now I would say, let's have a closer look at the phone. So let's get started here with the display. The display, if you have it in your hands, then you can actually easily see if it's a real iPhone or not. And this is if you have a look at the viewing angles. On the real iPhone, we have a Retina HD display, and this is really sharp and has great viewing angles and also really good colors. The colors on those fake iPhones, they're getting better and better, so I think they are taking pretty good LCD panels, but the rest, so the quality of the rest is kind of crappy. And the viewing angles, they are really different than real iPhone. They're still good, but you can definitely see that there's a difference. So you see the colors are changing, the brightness changes a lot, so it's not like on a real iPhone. Then, yeah, we don't have any capacitive touch buttons, so this is really like the real one, but usually also you can rotate the home button, and also it's a little bit loose, so you'll definitely feel if you press the home button that's fake. Okay, bezels, everything should have actually the same size. If you open up the camera and if you go to the front-facing camera, you definitely see this is super crappy. This can't be an iPhone 6s. Front-facing camera here, same size. We have the speaker grid and, oh, actually I think that's the light sensor. Yeah, that's the front-facing camera. So actually it looks like a real iPhone but performs crappy. On the left side we have the buttons. Now regarding the buttons, they're getting better. On the first generation of those clones they were really loose. That means you could slide them up and down. Here they are stiff. But what is usually very crappy is that mute button here. So sometimes it gets stuck and then vibrates all the time. So if you feel that it's somehow kind of uncomfortable to activate, then this could be a fake iPhone. Okay, next side. So here on the right side, we have here the SIM card tray. You see it comes a little bit out of the device, so it's not 100% even with the case. And here we have the power button. Power button feels very good, so just like on the real one. Then here on the bottom side we have the lightning port. So it also works with real Apple lightning cable, so there's no way actually to test this. We have here 2 Torx screws on the left and on the right side, so basically you can take it apart just like in a real iPhone. On the right side here we have the speaker. Speaker sounds so damn terrible. And here we have a little hole, which is the bottom microphone, and the 3.5mm headphone jack. So from the back side, this is, yeah, probably, you will see, it looks like a real iPhone. We have here the iPhone, the Apple logo. When you buy it and they send to Germany too and other countries, then they will cover that logo. But the people which work at customs, they're not stupid. So usually they take the sticker off, then they see it's a fake iPhone, and then they will probably destroy it. So this is what happened to one of my fake iPhone 5S, of actually to 2 of them. They got destroyed by the customs. It even comes here with an iPhone logo, here S for the S version, designed by Apple in California, assembled in China. So there were some typos on the old version, but here on the new one, yeah, it looks like the real thing. As I've told you before, the LED flash here looks completely different. Here we have another hole for the microphone, and the camera comes like on the real one a little bit out of the device, but the camera module is totally crappy. Whole frame, nice quality, aluminum, and yeah, I have to say, it looks really good. And also one of the things where you will see that it's a fake iPhone is if you just open up the App Store, and if the Play Store will load up, then you can be sure this is a fake iPhone. Okay, right now it's so slow, it even hangs up. So I don't want to continue talking about this shit, I just want to take it apart. So let's get directly started and let's remove the 2 Torx screws here, and then we can actually just lift up the whole body and can have a look at the internals. So let's switch it off and let's do it. So there we go. To take it apart, we just take this very small Torx tip screwdriver and we unscrew the screws here, and we also remove it. So I actually already did it. Just need to get this little screw here out, and then we are ready to go. So I think they are also the same size like on the real iPhone. And okay, now there we have it. So as you can see, a very small screw. Now in order to get the top glass front here off, we have to use some kind of suction pad. So let me quickly grab one. Okay, I couldn't find it. Let's do it the getaway here with the knife. And actually you just have to go in here somewhere at the bottom side, and there we have some kind of plastic body. Oh, I'm so going to destroy it, but I don't care because I would destroy it anyway because it's product piracy and this shouldn't be supported. And there we go. I hope I won't scratch my damn... Oh, yeah, there we go. Now you see the upper half actually comes out. Oh fuck, we just turned it on. Let me grab another screwdriver. Too bad I can't find my case opener tools, but the screwdriver also does the job. And as you can see, we already have a lot of scratches on there. So the aluminum material quality is also not the best. So there is a difference between aluminum, and obviously here it's some kind of cheap aluminum. But oh, I forgot to remove the SIM card tray. I'm such an idiot. I forgot that an iPhone has that crap too, but there we go. Let's just get it outside. So actually the bottom plate comes off without removing the SIM card tray, and I just need to find some tool to get it out. So the SIM card tray is now out, and it's a Nano SIM card tray, as you can see. So just like the real one, probably it also fits in the real one. And let's continue here. So as you can see, there's already a huge gap, and you can just separate here the case parts. So here we have the inside, and here we have the outer case shell. So let's just go and let's have a closer look at that. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen, that's the aluminum case shell of the fake iPhone 6s. As you can see, it's CNC milled, so it looks pretty good. And here we can see the power button in there, so this should actually come out too. We have here, for instance, the SIM card tray, so the slot for it. We have here the Apple logo, and you see still here that it's CNC milled, so pretty okay quality. We have here the switch, which is kind of crappy, not really sure how it looks on the real iPhone, but this one here is really hard to activate and it kind of sucks. We have here foil for the dual LED flash. So on the motherboard you will just see that we have two normal LEDs, and here we have some kind of foil for a different tone, but that's it, guys. Okay, so this is the case here from the inside and outside, and now let's just go and let's have a closer look at the motherboard and everything. And here it is. So we have here the main board all along with the digitizer, screen and everything, and we have this ultra crappy battery which is 1400 milliamp hours. So it's still an MTK chipset, and there are even phones with 2000 or more which have just a day of usage. Just imagine that one here with 1400 milliamp hours. So this is absolutely crappy. It's from October 2015, so actually this is kind of new, but still, wait, the battery is too small and all the components are not so good optimized. So you will never get such good battery capacity like on the iPhone 6. Okay, now so far as I can see, I'm not really sure where's the connector. I hope it's not soldered. Yeah, it's exactly, it's soldered to the main board. So here we have plus and minus. And I'm not going to desolder it because I have my soldering iron at home and not here in the office. But I will now just unscrew all the screws here, then we can take off the motherboard and then we can have a closer look at everything, including the battery. Okay, boys and girls, so now in order to remove the motherboard, so the main PCB, we have to unscrew all the screws here. Something which is important, don't forget to remove all the connections. So you will see here some connectors. You can easily open them up with a Phillips head screwdriver. Just go in there, lift off that bar here, and then just pull out the cable. For instance, here we have the LCD cable. Actually, I think it should be that one. And yeah, just lift this bar here up. Here you can see the LCD cable with the LCD driver IC. That's probably for the digitizer. Here another one for the top, so I guess that's for the sensors. And don't forget to remove them, because if you lift off the motherboard without removing that, then you will just kill the flex cables. Another thing is, watch out for the buttons. So you see the buttons are soldered here to the main board, and you first of all have to get the buttons out of the body here, otherwise you will also kill the flex cable. Then usually the battery is glued to the back of that kind of digitizer in a metal frame. Also be careful with that one here, don't kill your cables there. We have here a vibration motor, so that's the ringer. Then here we have the speaker, as you can see, so the big one there. Here we have the lightning port. That one here is the bottom microphone. So it looks like the vibration motor, but just a little bit smaller. And here we have the 3.5mm headphone jack. So I will now just remove all the screws here, then just lift off everything, and then we'll have a closer look at the motherboard and all the other internals. So just a little demonstration. This is what happens if you forget the flex cable and you lift off the motherboard. So the button is still glued here to the frame. Then you will lift up the motherboard and you will kill the flex cable. So this is really dangerous, and it's really hard to get those crap. Then you have to solder it back in, and it's not so easy to replace. So make sure you don't kill it, otherwise, yeah, you probably have to throw this thing here apart. You can see here, for instance, the other button, which is still in perfect shape, and you can actually just get this off the frame with some kind of Phillips head screwdriver. Just be gently, like with your girlfriend, and get this off here. So just go under there with your screwdriver and lift it off, and as you can see, the buttons here will come off, and then you can actually just get off the motherboard with all the buttons, and it is safe. Right, boys and girls, before we have a closer look at the motherboard, let's check out here the LCD panel along with the glass digitizer and the inner metal chassis. So the inner metal chassis here is for stabilization, but not only that, it also acts as a heat sink. As you can see, we have a couple of squares, so this is for the chips, and they will actually just touch here the metal, and this is for heat dissipation. We can also check out all the connections here. So here for the sensors we have a flex cable. Here we have, for instance, the LCD cable, and here we have one for the digitizer. Also, here at the bottom we have a bottom PCB for instance, for the Apple Lightning port. Then here we have the speaker, kind of small, sounds also really crappy. 3.5mm headphone jack, microphone, and here we have a flex cable, which connects to the main PCB. So this is what's basically the main part. And then in there will be the motherboard, so main PCB along with the battery in there. And then we have the backplate. So this is how it looks from the inside. Then now let's go and let's check out the motherboard to get some important information about this iPhone clone. Now maybe before we continue, here's the home button, and it's a normal mechanical home button, which you can see right over here. And there is no Touch ID, so this is actually really crappy. You can see the button all along here with the other button side, and this is absolutely nothing special. So this is just a mechanical home button and nothing else. So now it's time to check out the motherboard, right? You can see here the battery. As I've told you before, this battery is really thin, really small. I actually shouldn't stab it because if you have seen my shooting video, this really can catch fire. You can see here the PCB all along with several chips. So we have here the MediaTek chipset. If you have a closer look at that chip, it's the MTX 6582. So it's an quad-core processor, 32 bits, not really powerful, and actually that chipset is in a lot of devices. Another funny thing is that the antennas are kind of crappy, so we just have those golden contacts here touching the metal, so the metal chassis, the aluminum chassis, and also here at the bottom we have some of them. Those connections are actually for the bottom PCB speaker thing. We have here several other chips, as you can see. We have here the Simcard slot, the vibration motor, which is really big for the size of the smartphone, and here an SD card slot, so that's really funny. It's a 16GB model, but it consists out of 8GB, which are integrated in the chipset, so it comes with 8GB of eMMC storage, and an upgradable micro SD card slot. So in there you will find an 8GB micro SD card, which I'll now take out and probably switch. And here you can just put in whatever you want to. So I've seen people upgrading to 64GB. Really funny though. Front-facing camera is also a little module, which you can see right over here. Here we have the earpiece, and here we have the camera module of the rear camera. Okay, so this is how it looks here from this side. So MediaTek chipset, no expensive Apple A whatever chips, and this is what's the price difference. PCB, I guess, price is also very cheap on Apple. For sure, you also pay for the brand, but that chipset is very low. The antenna layout is okay, but usually I get really crappy signal. Sometimes I don't even get GPS to work. We can just turn it around and have a look at the bottom side. We have here the 1400 mAh battery, as we've seen before. Here the connectors for it. Here also the vibration motor soldered to that motherboard here. So what can we see on there? I'll just have a closer look here at the sticker. So on the sticker there's just the model number, nothing fancy here so far. I have to correct myself before. That's a reset hole. So sorry for that. The battery is non-removable, so if the device hangs up, that's not a bottom microphone or back microphone, whatever. This is a reset hole. So you go in there with a needle and you reset that damn iPhone clone. Let's not stab the battery. We can have a look here at the other stuff. So if you pay attention to this area, here's also a dual LED flash, but it's really just dual, and you have then here inside of the aluminum chassis here, or backplate, that foil here, which makes that dual tone effect. Okay guys, so this is actually the whole thing. We have a couple of test points there. If you have seen my unbreaking video, you can check it out. So there are several points. If you just flash a smartphone with a wrong firmware and it appears to be absolutely dead, there are several tricks you can do by bridging some points to ground, and then you can actually revive that thing. So yeah, this is what you can find inside of a fake Chinese iPhone or Chinese fake iPhone, whatever you prefer. Couple of cool things in there, like that SD card slot was probably the coolest thing ever. I thought it has eMMC storage, but nope. This is just like an normal Android motherboard design with MTK chipset and also an SD card slot. So really fancy. That's what you can find inside. And now let's come to my final conclusion about those fake products. So well, here comes my final conclusion, and I have to say they are not dangerous. You have just seen it, they are really crappy. They have a small battery, they have a low chipset. They have crappy features like a normal home button without fingerprint. The camera modules are like from 1998 potato cameras, something which I would classify probably as dangerous as the charging adapter. It's kind of small, it gets pretty hot, 80 degrees Celsius, so maybe even hot on some spots, so I don't want to have my phone charging with this when I sleep and it burns my house down. So actually I would just get rid of those cheap crap chargers, get a real one. Yeah, if you ask me if it's worth to buy it, I can definitely say no. Just as I said in the beginning of this video, if you do not have the money for an iPhone, buy some super nice Chinese Android phone. They're pretty good phones, not just some knockoffs. Don't buy Samsung clones, don't buy iPhone clones. They're all the same crap quality. If anybody tells you they're good quality, keep your hands off. They're just lying. So there is no good clone. There are really good brands having affordable smartphones, Qbot. There are even some cheap Xiaomi phones. So just have a look at them, and it's really not worth to pay over $100 for an iPhone clone, which won't satisfy you. So the quality of the accessories is probably what I would say is bit dangerous, but the phone itself is not dangerous, it's just crap. All in all, I would really like to have an SD card slot in my iPhone 6s, but that's basically it. So you'll find some links down below in the description to check out the products, and also so you can see how those Chinese companies sell those things. But as I've told you before, keep your damn hands off those products. Not worth it. In no way. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave a like and subscribe if this video was helpful. It really helps me a lot to keep those videos coming. And have a nice day, and bye bye. See you soon in the next dismantling video.